Alright, good morning everyone. Hope you guys are having a good morning. And what do we have again this morning? Tons of penny stock runners. So, I'm excited. Another morning. We have some more runners on our hands this morning. But for me, you probably guys are wondering, oh Nick, like what'd you do on OSN this morning? Huge ripper. Unfortunately, guys, I am red on OSN. You guys are wondering, what I did, what I did wrong. Broke one of the most common rules of trading. I chased. And that's what happens most of the time when you're gonna chase. So I'm gonna go over my play real quickly, and then I'll get into what I'll be looking for at open on OSN. So OSN, this morning, had this initial pop on up, and here at 7:30, I usually, I'll be sitting at the desk at 7, and I'll be waiting for the news because the news waves comes every 30 minutes. So you'll have a 7 a.m. wave, 7:30, and an 8, 8:30, and then 9. Usually I don't play the 9. But, 7:30, I didn't see anything come out. I gave it like 2-3 minutes. And then I was like, I'm really hungry. Woke up a little late this morning. Usually I'll eat breakfast, before the market opens, around like 6:50, 6:45. But I woke up a little late this morning. And, I gave it 2 minutes and I didn't see anything. So I went down to eat. And then, a few minutes later, people in Discord were sending me links. OSN, low float former runner, and I quickly pulled it up so the float, so that it was under 1 million, so the news, and I quickly ran upstairs, and by the time I was up, it was like 7:40, it was like 7:40, and then, went on this pop on up, and I just missed it. I was waiting for a pullback. I was watching it around here, didn't get that pullback. And then I took it around here, right around 6:20. It wasn't the risk reward was good. I was risking 20 cents for a move up to 7, and started spiking on up. And I sold some right around 7. I sold half, so I think I had 3,000 shares or 4,000 locked in half, and it started topping around here. Smart thing to do was take it, but I kind of let it get to my head. Really, I really like OSN this morning. I have a very strong long bias on it. It has a lot of good long criteria that I like. It has SSR. It's under 1 million in float. It's a former runner. It's a China name. It's easy to borrow, which is huge. It has lots of bullish factors towards it. So to me, this is an A plus. Pre-market long. So kind of let it get to my head a little, and I was thinking we were gonna push higher, and it didn't, and I didn't have a trailer in. Usually I would have a trailer in, but my average was at 620. It was in the sevens. It was a little greedy. If I had it lower, I definitely would have had a trailer in, but I didn't. And then when it came down, instead of cutting it, breaking even, because I was up a K. I was up, $1,000 in a day, and I think at these highs, I was up another 1,500. So instead of locking in and even having a trailer in, it came back down to my average. I was like, let me add. So I added low sixes. I think it's in a base at 6 and curl back on up. Did it. Came down even lower. I started adding 580s, 590s, and then it came even lower 570s, and now it's into that point where I had a lot, and I was like, shit, I have a lot right now, and I eventually cut it below 550, and you can see I literally sold right before it recovered, and that's what's gonna happen when when you have a bad average, when you chase. It comes down to your levels, and this is with the buy levels here. The buy levels were all in here. 590, 550s, even lower, and I was adding buying up here, and then when it came time to the real good areas, I had too much. You could see it bounced. It bounced right here when it started bouncing earlier this morning. So it was a good area to load, and instead of loading, I was selling. So big mistake on my hand. That's what you get for chasing, and especially when you chase, you don't get greedy. If you're chasing, don't be greedy. So I was greedy this morning. Sorry guys, 1 second. My door. Sorry about that, guys. Occasionally if you guys hear a bark, don't be scared. I do have a lot of dogs, and I think most of you guys know I do trade in my living room because my brother is a big gamer, so he controls my room. So I have no room. I have no room in my room to trade. So I was kicked out and forced to trade in the living room, which sucks because now I'm surrounded with dogs and sometimes it gets a little noisy. So apologies. All right, but what was I? Lost my train of thought. All right, yeah. So that was pretty much the OSN trade. I just went over for you guys, and now I'm gonna go over what I'll be looking for on this morning. So you guys see, I have my levels mapped. I have the 550 level mapped here, and I have the $5 level. So to me, this front side on OSN is above $5. So until OSN cracks $5, it's no longer in play for me on the long side. So what I'll be looking for in OSN, what I'd like to see would be, week open. I love when these stocks have these week opens. To me, it shows shorts that plays dead. Make them comfy and attract more shorts. I want this thing to be loaded and infested with shorts. And then once we have the big hand step in, squeeze them all out, and lead to a nice rip and run. So be watching this on week opens around 550, and if it does crack that 550, we're gonna have this $5 support. You can see that that morning high will now act as some support. So we'll be watching it around this level here. If we do have a week open, I don't think I will be longing it right at support. I'll probably be waiting for a reclaim. I may start in small size if we start to build like some higher lows. So if we get this week open, come to 550, start the base, maybe even a little lower, like this 530, 540, start the base a little. Then we start to put in lower highs, 560s, 570s, and it's basing nicely. The tape looks good. There's some big bidders there. Maybe I'll start to pick up like 2,000 shares, here and there, and then once we reclaim 6, if we pop above 6, pull back. Bids are holding at 6. Look to add for a move back on up. And so that will be the one scenario I'll be watching. That week open, that reclaim, and then I'll go from there. But we could see the the quick morning pop to like $7. You definitely could be seeing some chat rooms move on into this. I'm not gonna put out any names, but definitely would expect some pump chat rooms behind this at open. So I'm sure they may push it around at open. So we could get that quick parabolic to 7, and excuse me. And I would like to see it, reject, pull back, base, then reclaim. But if we get that pop right at open, pushes 7, 750. At that point I probably won't be touching it up there. I'd have to wait for a bigger pullback. So I don't want to make the same mistake I did earlier. I don't want to chase. That's not my trading. That was a bit of a mistake. It did work out, but like I said, I should have took all of it up here. Stupid of me. Kind of wanted that big move. I still think we could get that big move, but I want to be buying at safe levels. I don't want to be chasing. So if we get this morning pushes 750, and it starts to base up there, I'm just gonna let it go without me. I'm perfectly fine. If it goes without me. I won't be fine if I chase and I'm the one buying at the top. That would be something I'm not okay with. So that's the deal with OSN. If you guys have any questions, you guys could let me know. Okay, so talk more on SSR and easy to borrow affecting the ticker. Sure. So SSR is a short sale restriction. It means shorts can't short at the bid. So it forces them to stay on the ask. So that will definitely help the stock price. So let's say if it's at 550 and we get a little crack, you may have shorts slamming the bid, shorting at the bid, driving the price down. But since short sale restrictions on, you won't have as much selling pressure, when we crack support lines. Same thing with on pops. If shorts want to start shorting on pops, they can't be aggressive on the bid side. They have to sit on the ask. That definitely works in favor for the longs. As far as easy to borrow, it's kind of a psychological thing. you have more shorters, being able to short the stock. Yes, you may think that's, someone who would just hear about that would think, oh, that's bearish. More people could short, but no. If we have, you know, some big hands in play here. Big insiders or even algos, pushing the stock on up, and we have a bunch of rookie short traders who are and just getting into shorting. Think about how many more people you will have shares. If it's easy to borrow everywhere, and you have a lot more shorts to play here. And then when you have big hands, algorithms, pushing it on up, that will lead to a bigger squeeze. If it's not easy to borrow and shares are hard to come by, who's there to squeeze? You're just gonna have too much on the long side, and what's that's gonna lead to? It's gonna lead to eventual downfall. If you have all traders longing one stock, eventually it's gonna run out and come crashing back on down. So that's why it's good to have a balance of some some shorts. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, I'm back. Yeah, so that's what I mean by. Hope you understood what I mean by SSR and easy to borrow. If you didn't understand that, I could try to explain it, in a different way. Yep, Ricky, that's what I mean by. You hear me say it a lot. Trapping shorts. That's what you'll see. Come down. Break support. You'll have short start to short here, short here, short here, short here, and now they're stuck. Now a lot of short sellers are stuck here. 550s, 560s. So now when we reclaim 6, on strong volume, you can see we got a nice push to 640 because you have all these short sellers here, risking off this $6 mark, and once we break over that, they'll be covering. That's what I mean by trap shorts. All right, so let's to do with OSN. Cool up the daily real quick. This only has gone on like one real big spike, so it has gone on a nice rip before. You can see here on this day, back in 2018, it's gone from lows of 490 to highs of 890. So it has gone on a rip before, and you can see the volume here is 3 million. So you can see today, we already almost done 2 million today. So this is gonna be probably the highest volume day it's ever had on OSN. So you can see that, So the next resistance line we'll have will be that 890 level. So we'll map out this line at 890. So that's going to be the next overhead resistance. Above that, will just be clear skies. No overhead resistance. So something to keep in mind. All right, other than OSN, I'm watching, two others that I'm interested in. EDNT. Now, EDNT here, kind of the sympathy play, on OSN. Most eyes are on OSN this morning. So in the sympathy plays, I do like to be cautious on these sympathy plays. A lot of times, we did see a recent one. I forgot the ticker. It was right before I left on vacation. We did see the sympathy play, go on a nice rip. Can't remember the name. But, I usually am cautious on these ones as, most of the volume, will be on the leader, OSN. So, sometimes these will have failed follow through, and you see a lot of dumping. So this one I'm staying cautious on. So far the volume in pre-market has been decent. You see we are doing some nice volume bars here this morning, but you can see it's just been building lower highs. You can see lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. So you do want to be cautious on this one. This one definitely could be a fader. Even if you guys are interested in a possible short, the float's 2.5, so it's pretty low. It's not a micro float, but it's definitely on the low side. So it's still a low enough that you do have to be very careful on the short side. So I would say 325. See this 320 level here. Will be some resistance. So if you guys are looking for a possible short, just make sure you have a tight stop. As this is still a lower float stock, so you do want to be cautious. So I would say morning pop to like 310, 320. You could be more aggressive, risking that 350 line, or if you want to risk his 325 level, you definitely can. But if this thing starts to reclaim 325, starts to base above it, definitely start to be definitely be very cautious if you guys are short. Above this 350 line, I wouldn't you wouldn't want to be still short above that 350 line, because it could definitely start to push. So that's the deal on the short side on EDNT. As far as a weak open and curl, it's gonna have some support in this 270 level. So you do want to see this 270 level hold. See like 268 here, this level here. I would say below 250, no longer in play for longs, in my opinion. You guys could think otherwise. That's just what I'm seeing. But I'd probably say below 250 is probably toast. So those are the levels on the long side. For dips, 270, 250 for a curl back on up. And the best case scenario would be for shorts would be, push that open on weak volume, stuff move, and then you could go from there. But this is probably one that you still want to be, like I said, sound like a broken record, but just be careful on the short side on this one. I know a lot of shorts are eyeing this one. I saw on Twitter, some of the chat rooms are, ready to load the boat on this short, and that could work against them if big volume moves in. Yeah. Thanks. It was Yuma. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I couldn't remember the name, but yeah, Yuma. Yeah, Yuma went on a nice run. I don't know if I could go far. When was that on Yuma? Yeah, so that was a week ago on Yuma. I remember that one. It was I think it went on a quick pop, stuff move, and then it held those support lines, and then it reclaimed and had a nice squeeze. So you could look for like a similar scenario to Yuma today on EDNT. I'm not saying that'll happen, but it's a good reference to possibly look off of, because it is a sympathy play as well. Oh, last one. Let me go over one more. ARCI. So ARCI, this is a day two overextended gap down setup. So it's a short setup I like to look for. So you can see, day one we had this nice move on up. Day two we have this gap down. So we're gonna have longs who are swinging this overnight or still holding from yesterday are now underwater. So excuse me, stunned a bit right there. But think about it. Think about it. If you were long yesterday and you swung this overnight and you're stuck, from $6, $6.10, what do you want to do? You're gonna want to look to get out on pops. So this thing starts to pop, 570, 580, 590, and you're long six. And you're like, shit, I'm down. I'm gonna look to get out here, and that'll lead to a lot of overhead resistance. That's kind of the psychology behind this setup. So at open, if this thing starts to push, 570s, 580s, 590s, look to start getting some short for a possible move to the downside. You could see, we're pretty high off the lows here, so this could definitely see, $4, possibly even lower today on ARCI. So we'll be looking for a possible short on this one, into pops. May even start a little pre-market if if it gets a little pop. Oh, I didn't even realize it's 9:20. It's 9:29. I was talking for a while there. So yeah, market's about to open. So gotta get ready, real quick. Lost track of time there. So right at open, we'll be watching OSN, EDNT, and ARCI. Top three watches this morning. Make sure you guys have your lines mapped out and you know what you guys are looking at right at the open. All right, so market is open. So watching OSN right at the gates here. You can see right here the tape's looking a little weak at open. So we could see this pullback down to this 550 level. So you guys will want to see, you know, how it reacts to our lines here. You have this 550 line. Below that, you know, we'll have a $5 line. EDNT looking pretty weak at open here as well. So remember, 250 is kind of that bottom line on EDNT for me. You know, we didn't get that morning pop to short into. So OSN trying to get back over 6. So boom, there's OSN, you know, back over 6. You know, what was the low of this candle? So we did get to a low there of 565. So we got off like 15 cents from that 550 line that we were looking at. We'll see if it could start the base over 6. So you can see we formed a doji star there. You know, doji star there is a candle of indecision. So it's kind of an indecision between the buyers and the sellers. Usually doji stars on the way up will lead to a red candle right after. EDNT, just the volume looking extremely weak. So right now, just being patient. You know, only 2 minutes into the market. The market opens, so just being patient right now. Don't want to force anything. I'm gonna wait for a a good setup. You know, if you guys really like OSN, you guys could risk off this 550 line. You know, take a little paper cut if it cracks. Then you could always try again. If you think it's gonna hold 550. You know, am I gonna try it? You know, personally, I'm not. Yeah, we'll be waiting. You'll want to see more chart develop. EDNT slowly starting to curl. But look at the volume on it, though. It's so weak right now. You're only doing 60K, 30K bars right now. So another $6 test here on OSN. What's this? SSNT up 70% right now. What's going on here? Looking really pumpish here. Look at that chart. Just like no volume. This thing doesn't trade any volume. So pretty pumpish there. So definitely be careful on this one. Here's a 2.4 million in float per trade ideas. OSN trying to get over 6. See if it can push here. You can see each time it comes up to 6, each time it gets over 6, it's just met with a lot of heavy selling. So it's definitely a big seller here on OSN. You can see each time it gets over 6, just met with a lot of selling. Let's see if 6 can start the base. You know, the bids have yet to sustain, 6. And each time it gets over, it gets pushed back on down again. You see that, right? I'm not saying it can't push, just commentating what I'm seeing on the level 2 and tape here. So you can see now it's starting to get a little bit of a sell off here, because each time we get over 6, we're getting rejected. Appreciate that, Matt. Thank you so much for the support. So let's see. OSN, there we go. Back at 570s. So you guys can see it's just basic, tape reading. Just seeing what's going on, between the bidders, the ask, the velocity of the level 2, the times and sales. Is this EDNT starting to pop? So EDNT, over 3. So EDNT, sneaking up on us over 3 now. On light volume too. So am I gonna long EDNT? Probably not. Just the volume's not good enough for me to long. Yes, we had that weak open trap, and now we're over 3, but just not liking the overall volume on it. If anything, I would probably lean more towards a short, risking that 325 line. So it did hit a high there at 312, so it did come close to that 325 line. And look at that, back in the 270s. So nice job if anyone caught a short there on EDNT. We went over that 325 line. That kind of snuck up pretty fast on me. I didn't even wasn't even ready for that one, to be honest. It's ARCI getting a pop. Let's see ARCI. I'm gonna watch ARCI because I've seen this pattern before. You don't want to get caught into a short trap. So what I'll be waiting on ARCI, probably be waiting more for like a breakdown. So let me see the levels yesterday. So we'll have some 620 resistance. See, the volume's very weak. Same time, it is a lower float. So if I am going to be getting in here, it'll be smaller size, and then I'll add as we start to break down. SSNT, I'll put it on the level 2 if you guys want to watch it, but it's just very pumpish. Is there any news on it? Wow, look at that, $2 to $6. It's crazy. Let me see if there's any news on this thing. SSNT. Wow, that just went to $8 out of nowhere. That's crazy. I'm just checking the news, and a second later, it's at $8. It's insane. You can see the average volume is only 10,000 shares traded, so it's very illiquid. You can see the daily chart just has days where there's like zero volume. We are halted now, so you can see it's taking a lot of the attention away now from OSN. OSN starting to crack a little bit now, so you guys could see a lot of traders are moving towards SSNT. Oh, so we do have a headline there. So software firm bought 11 million cash. All right. So we have a headline there on SSNT. Like I said, it wouldn't still count OSN out, but just from what I'm seeing so far on it, it has been very promising so far. But I wouldn't count it out. I've seen this pattern where we have this push, the VWAP, we stuff, and then we reclaim, later on in the day. Not later on, but, shortly after. What I mean by maybe like 15, 20 minutes after, so around like 10 o'clock, 10:30-ish. So it's possible we can see OSN reclaim and squeeze higher. But right now, I'm not liking what I'm seeing so far. The price action, the volume. But it doesn't mean it's still out of play. Until we crack 5, it's still in play. So we could, still base around here, then reclaim 6 and push. OSN starting to crack, yeah. So OSN, we'll see how it reacts to this $5 line, but a lot of selling. So you could see, since market open, has been a lot of selling. EDNT 250s now, so that one's near support too. So both our top two gainers, dumping this morning. You can see what happens, if you think if you think behind the psychology behind it, just a lot of longs, I think shorts, are finally realizing that, they can't be shorting, these micro floats, especially in this hot market right now. So, it leads to overcrowding on the long side. A lot of people are seeing that, and you probably even have some shorters now, starting along these things. So it just leads to tons of overcrowding, and you could see it's just eventually, it's gonna run out. It's gonna run out of buyers, and you can see we're seeing a big sell off now in OSN. So let's see, SSNT, still halted. See what this looks after the unhalt. I also did fill, guys, some short ARCI. So I did fill some short ARCI up here in the $6 range. So looking for a breakdown on ARCI. Mike, you bought in at 540 on OSN. Just make sure you have a stop in mind. Make sure you have a stop loss. This thing could definitely, dump even further. So definitely have a stop in mind. For me, I didn't see any long signals on OSN so far. That's the risk you run. Buying at support, is a little risky. The safer trade would be waiting for confirmation on a reclaim, and we didn't see that on OSN. So ARCI spiking a bit here. Tried the fill there, but didn't get any. Didn't get a fill. 650 would probably be my risk level. I have a 610 average, so willing to add on up. You're risking 650 as my ultimate risk level. So SSNT unhalted here. So huge gap down. So gap down, pretty big there. Look at the spreads, 35-cent spreads. So we have big spreads here on SSNT. These are these really crazy ones. I don't mind, having a low float. Nothing wrong with that. I love, these low floaters, but when the spreads are like that, it's just pretty hard to trade them. When the spreads are huge and the volume is super low, it's just, tough to trade, trade ones like that. Yeah, Mike, there's nothing wrong with buying at support, but if you buy at support, once it cracks, you want to get out. So there's nothing wrong you did, but when that line cracks, you do want to stop out. Always, every time you enter, always know your risk. Know what level, know where you want to enter, know where you want to exit, and know where your stop is. Those are just the basic rules of trading. No reason to get emotional or get mad. Trading. As long as you have a stop in mind, you'll be good. There should be no stress. I'm not trying to chew you out or anyone out here. Just want to help everyone. So right now, OSN, trying to curl back on up. So it came right near that $5 line that we spoke about. Starting to bounce a little bit here. Still only 948, so this thing could definitely climb back on up. So we'll see. At the same time, it could dump back on down. So, all we got to do as traders is to react to what we see. We could speculate, a little bit here and there, make assumptions, have our theses, but none of that matters, until you see, that confirmation, or you see that edge where you see it starting to go in your favor, and then you could play the odds. Nothing's 100%. I don't want to tell you guys how to trade. It's totally up to you. So I can't really speak for you on that. I mean, Matt. Just just be here every day and watch the live streams. I tell you guys, all I know, and you guys could learn from me just being here every day. I mean, it's very hard to just tell you how to trade. It's just, it just comes with experience and a lot of screen times. No one could, learn how to trade in, a month. It's gonna take some time. My first year trading, I wasn't a good trader. Probably took me two full years to, really, turn into a decent trader. And I'm on year 3 now, and this has been my best year yet. So, and I'm just gonna continue to get better. I'm not a perfect trader. There's tons of people better than me. I'm not even close to the best trader in the world. So, I'm just gonna keep getting better. As time goes on, and you guys being here, along this journey, and just being in the Discord chat, you guys will continue to get better as well. You just can't slack off and be lazy. Appreciate that, Drew. I try to be as transparent as possible, but there'll still be people out there who claim I'm not. But really appreciate it for those who see that. So SSNT here, it's kind of the pump of the morning, the crazy pump of the morning. Doing its thing here. Oh wow! I just saw ARCI did hit my on my order there. Did I fill? Let me see. I think I did fill there at like 6:45. Let me see. Let me see. OSN. Yeah, right now current resistance can be at that 550 level. I'd probably say the safer bet would be wait for the six line to start the hold. If you want to get in at 550, it's definitely an option. But for me, I'd probably be waiting for a $6 reclaim. But if you want to be more aggressive, you could definitely look for once it starts to base over 550, get over our lines. You can see these are our magic lines, our EMA lines. We're still below them. So usually, a good long trigger is when we start to curl over these lines. ARCI stopped out. Damn, these. So I did take a loss there on ARCI. Over 550. It is halted now. So ARCI, just blowing out all these shorts. And I did get blown out there as well. So to take a loss there. I'm not mad at all. To me, that was a good setup that I play most of the time. It does work out majority of times in my favor. Just a little unfortunate there on ARCI. So I did take a loss there. I lost about... What did I lose? Lost about $1,000. So right now I am down $2,500 in the day. So it is a red day at the moment for me. So 1 for 3 in the day on my trades. I had one winner on OSN. I had a loser on OSN, and now ARCI did get stopped out there. It's unfortunate. We usually see these day twos, have been dying off, especially these overextended gap downs. We saw NETE get crushed. Same exact setup. You can see here, big green day. Your second green day, spiked into resistance and got stuff, and a nice dump back on down. I have countless amounts of these setups, and just unfortunate that ARCI was one of those that it didn't work in my favor. Trading is just a numbers game. I stuck to my setup, and it didn't work out in my favor, and I move on. It's no trade's gonna be 100% of the time. That trade works for me. I keep track of my statistics. That trade works about 68% of the time, and I just fell into that at 32% that didn't work out. Let me see what I lost. I had a 625 average, stopped out at 655. See, I lost about 20 cents on that trade on 5,000 shares, so lost about $1,000. So let's see, OSN starting to curl. So OSN, this is a another pattern here. I'm watching pretty closely. I want to see how it's gonna react to $6. So watching OSN did fill there. OSN. So M long there. OSN. I think we are halted. Let's go. OSN, nice. So OSN, sick job, guys. That was very quick. I just hotkeyed that in right over 6. I saw the volume start to move on in, and I did get in there. Nice job. Congrats to anyone who got in there in OSN. We are halted. Great job. That happened very quickly there in OSN. Yes, halted because it moved up 10% in a short amount of time. That's what causes a volatility halt. So a 10% move in a very short amount of time, will halt the stock. So I'm definitely expecting a nice gap up here on OSN. So what I'll be looking for is OSN. Right now I do have I have 6K shares of OSN. I have a 605 average. So after the unhalt, I am expecting a gap up to maybe 630, 640. So I'll probably be looking for a safety sell. So right after the unhalt, give it a second, and I'll look to sell 3,000 shares for a profit. And then the rest, I'll give it some time to develop and see where it goes from there. Maybe you could get up to that 680, 690 level, and I look to take there. Yeah, nice volume bar moved in there. So you guys can see, that's why I didn't count out OSN. I told you guys, until this cracks, I still don't understand why shorts are shorting this. So I said until this cracks 5, there's no reason to to short or to get rid of your to not look for any more longs. And it did what I said. I said watch around 10 o'clock. Look what time it is. 10, almost in 10 on the dot. Watching the curl start to build some higher lows. You could have been more aggressive and got in at 550, which is perfectly fine, or you could have waited for the $6 line. And it's a nice setup here. This is the same thing. This is the same exact setup that happened on RKDA. You guys remember RKDA? If you guys go back and look at day 1 on RKDA, this is exactly what happened. We had a morning open, a stuff move at VWAP, cracked the first line of support, came down to the second line at 5, built higher lows, reclaimed, and squeezed and halted over, I think it was like 3 or 4. If you guys don't believe me, guys, go look back on RKDA on day 1 of the move. The same exact pattern. I'm sure it's the same exact algorithm that I was on RKDA on that day 1 move. Why is 5 so special? It's just a support line. It's a psychological support line, and $5 is a very strong line. Yeah, stock block. Thank you. This is my favorite pattern. This is, if you guys in the Discord, you guys know this is my wash, trap, and squeeze pattern. It's my number one go-to pattern, and it works tons, and it works a very high percentage amount of the time. And OSN, met all the criteria for this setup. You got it. Thanks. In at 549, out at 6. Sweet job. Awesome. So yeah, I'm definitely expecting a gap up here, but in the rare chance that it does dump, we'll be watching it around the 580 line. I'd like to see it hold 580 if we do get a washout. Definitely expecting some sort of gap up. And I'll be looking to take half. Wow, you're in at 516. That's a sick entry there. That's awesome. You're looking really good. So you have the bids at 640, 642. So we'll see what this gap's up to. I'm expecting like 630s. If I have to take a guess, maybe 640s on the high side. We'll see. Usually these halts last 5 to 10 minutes. What time do we get halted at? 9:57. So it could be 10:02 right now, or it'll be 10:07. Usually they're 5 minutes, so expect this to open up very shortly here. So we are hoping a small little gap down there. Kind of open where it got halted at. So there we go. There's 630s. Look to take there some at 630s. So I took half at 630s just to lock in some. So where did I get out? I got out at 632 there. OSN. So made about 30 cents on that first sell. Next targets we'll look for 650 plus. As you see, the volume really starting to come in now. Nice, really nice candle here. Look at that, 650's coming up. Awesome job. Great job for everyone who who got in on this play. I know a lot of people were long today on this play. You can see the volume bar. Oops. See a nice 559K bar. So very strong volume bar there. Make sure you guys are always locking in along the way. I did. Yeah, there at 630, I locked in just under a K. I'm still holding 3,000 shares right now. ARCI is actually doing some things right now. So this one really surprised everyone. Surprised me. That you guys can see this one just snuck up. You can see the volume's like not even that great on it. This is very manipulated here on ARCI. This is not a natural move. And usually when you see volume like this, I'd probably say 90% of the time on a day 2 setup, this will be a fader. This is when it started doing some good volume. Right around 10 o'clock, you're right here. This would have been no more short for me, once I saw that. But yeah, nice move on ARCI, but gotta focus on OSN, still in the play right now. So let's see if we get the 650s for us. Let's see if we get it. 650s getting chewed. Alright, I'm gonna take some more there at 660s. So locked in another 1,500 shares. And once again, I went from down $2,000 to back in the green. So another day in a row, I was down. I don't know if you guys remember yesterday. I was down pretty big yesterday, and came back, and now I'm in the green again today. You guys seeing it 2 days in a row. How I took more losses than I had winners, and I still came out profitable. On this trade, I'm not gonna let this trade turn into a loser. I'm still gonna hold out my 1,500, of 2,000 shares left, but I'm gonna let my 2,000 shares go. I'll probably take another 1,000 over 7, and then I'll just trail the rest. So next target will be $7. But definitely smart guys. I really don't want to see someone say to me and DM me saying, Nick, I was up $1,000. I was up $1 per share, and then I lost. I don't want to see anyone. I don't want to see any DMs like that. So make sure you guys are always locking in along the way. So definitely not a bad idea taking the 650s. This thing could definitely dump back on down. Personally, I wouldn't be buying here. I wouldn't. You'd have to wait for more $6 entry. So right now, just still sitting in it. Have smaller size than I started off with on it. But really happy for everyone who caught this. And if you guys missed it, it's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that if you guys missed it. Curry. Yeah, this is my favorite pattern on OSN. This is a wash, trap, and squeeze pattern. I have examples of it over in Discord. Basically, the pattern revolves around. First, it revolves around. Actually, give me 1 second. I just want to watch my position here. Cause my trailer may hit. I'm trailing the rest of my shares. I'm letting this turn into a loser. It's already locked in majority, but yeah, I don't know if I mentioned, I do have a Discord chat, so definitely check out our Discord chat. Links down below in the description, or the Nightbot has a link right there. But yeah, I'll finish that thought once I see what happens here in OSN. Nice, back at 650s. See if you can push a little bit more here. Highs are 670s. Yeah, unfortunately, YouTube, it's not me. YouTube does have a, I believe it's like a 7-second delay. So there's nothing I could do about that. But this is delayed, a few seconds. So, sorry about that. There's like nothing I could do about it. It's just, how it is on YouTube. Yeah, stock block. Isn't that crazy? IRCI was so manipulated that play. It was ridiculous. It gave all the signs that it's gonna be a fader, and they just trapped everyone. I got caught in it too, and sometimes it'll happen. I do breathe. Nice, making $910. Sick job. Nice job. Yeah, so far I made on this trade I locked in 2,500, and right now unrealized I'm up $500. Yeah, definitely not a bad idea, guys. To take profits. I always sometimes I'll be aggressive with my remainder of my shares because I probably do trade more size than some of you guys, and when I was trading smaller size, I would definitely be locking in most or even all of my shares. But as I sized up my share size, I'm able to leave an extra 1,000 or 2,000 shares in case we get a bigger move. Buddy, thanks. Appreciate that, man. Matt's locked in $25. Awesome job to you, man. Yeah, E Trade's not a good broker for shorting. It's probably one of the worst. I don't. It's just I guess it's who their clearing firm is. I just and they're just not good for for shorting E Trade. Brokers to use for shorting. I have is Center Point Securities, Trade Zero, Speed Trader, Cobra Trading. Those are all good brokers to short from. Yeah, those are all good brokers that you want to use for shorting. I use E Trade as a. I just use it for charting because and level two. I love E Trade's level two. It's my favorite. So I just have a few bucks in there for on E Trade just to have their level two and chart. But for trading, I do use a different broker. Nelson, quick 227 bucks for your small account. Awesome job to you, man. Enjoy. That's sick, man. That's more than people make, in a full day of work. And you made that in, what, 40 minutes into the market? That's sick. So OSN coming up here to 670s. All right, so I did just lock in another 1,000 shares there at 670s. Locked in 500 bucks there. Now I have 1,000 shares left from a 605 average. So awesome trade on OSN. A plus setup in the book. Yeah, there's a pattern in the Discord. Yeah, this pattern on OSN is called the WTS, the wash, trap, and squeeze pattern. Uh, it's my favorite go-to pattern. So definitely study up this pattern. Definitely study it up. This pattern has made me a lot of money. And in this market we're in, I developed this pattern actually within this year. So this pattern, I developed just this year, and it works great with how the plays are running, recently within this year, and it's just been working out great for me. Exactly, Matt. Nailed it right in the head right there. Getting in now, be chasing. This is where you want to be getting out. You saw I just sold some shares there because I know it's getting a little extended now. You can see we're starting to top a bit here, so it could definitely have a sell off here. So these are scaling out levels, not scaling in. Yeah, Matt's. Yeah, this pattern works. I have to look at my statistics, but this is definitely over a 70% chance this pattern works. Yeah, Matt, that's why you know what you want to do. You want to create a statistical edge for yourself. Track every time you see this pattern. So every time you see this pattern happens, start documenting it into like an Excel or just whatever, a Word, and track it, and you'll see it's gonna work. Like you even said yourself, you only seen it not work once, so why wouldn't you have the confidence to get it? Why wouldn't you have the confidence to get in? If you know you're gonna win 75% of the time on this one pattern, why the hell would you not get in? I'm not trying to chew you out. I'm just saying, for anyone, speaking in general terms, if your pattern works 75% of the time, why would you not pull the trigger? That was a big hump that took my training to the next level. Once I had the statistical edge, I said, all right, this works 70% of the time. I have no fear getting in the trade because I know it's going to work majority of the time. And a good example was ARCI. ARCI fell into that 33%, 32%. That didn't work out. Great job, Matt. Awesome. Proud of you. Yep. Bike. I go live every day. So right now my trailer is 619 on OSN. I'm just holding 1,000 shares. That's really small for me. So I'm just holding 1,000 shares right now, and 619 is a trailer on the rest, and then my target will be over $7 on OSN. What's the pre-market high? Let's see. Pre-market high is 750, so this thing could really explode over 750. I do breathe. Do I enjoy streaming? Uh, yeah, now I do. To be honest, not gonna lie. When I first started, uh, I don't know. Alex kind of really encouraged me to do it. I didn't really enjoy it at first. It was kind of weird. It was a big transition for me. I was like, oh, I don't really feel like, talking. I'm not. I'm a talkative. I'm not a. I'm a. I wouldn't say I'm not a talkative guy. Like I'm a talkative guy, but not like Alex. Like Alex loves to talk. Like Alex, he could talk forever. That guy. Like he could go on for years. Alex, without taking a breath. But for me, I'm not like that. But at the same time, I like to talk. I like to engage with others. But I was kind of against that at first, and then Alex really convinced me to do it. Got into it. Didn't like it like the first month or two, and then I started to enjoy it. I just got used to it, and now I love it. I really enjoy doing these streams now. Because I really like helping others out. I really do. Because I was once in your shoes. So yeah, I do enjoy streaming. Yeah, there's another streamer, Alex, my trading partner. He streams options. The Nightbot should be posting a link to our other channel. So definitely go subscribe to Alex. He's a great options trader. But yeah, it used to be two people on the mic. It used to be me and Alex. But Alex trades penny stocks and options, and he kind of decided to himself that options is kind of where he has more success. I'm not. He didn't. It's not like he didn't have success trading penny stocks, but he just liked trading options better. And he told me one day, he's like, Nick, like I kind of want to transition into becoming a full time options trader, and I supported his decision. Yeah, it kind of sucked. I lost my trading partner, but I'm happy for him. Can you explain the pattern once again? Yeah, I'll explain the pattern. So it's called the wash, trap, and squeeze pattern. It works with there's a lot of criteria that goes into the pattern. So just I'll give you some examples. Each morning I kind of make my thesis, and dictate whether or not I think this will be a good long or short. So you have to have a little thesis, a little bias behind it, but in the end, what matters is the confirmation, price action, volume. But in the beginning, you want to have a little bit of thesis. So OSN. So this is like my thought process going into it. So I was like, OSN, all right, 800K float, highly owned by insiders. So it's definitely going to be some bigger hands at stake here in the play. It's a former runner. It has gone on a rip before. SSR is on, so sell restrictions on. It's easy to borrow. We're in a hot market right now. We're seeing a lot of big runners. It's a China name. It's an earnings winner. So we have, and also there's no dilution on it. So it has all these bullish factors going for an OSN. So even though it has all these bullish factors, I need to, I need that confirmation. I need to confirm with price action and volume. And we got it this morning. For me, for pre-market, I need to see 30K bars. So boom, 30K bars on a $3 stock, under 1 million. Boom, that meets my volume confirmation. All right, meets my volume confirmation. What else I need to confirm with price action? So I need to watch the tape, level 2 times in sales. Boom. So our big bidders, the velocity in the tape was good. Free flowing orders. Refreshing of the bids. You have all these bullish factors towards it in pre-market. So what I want to do, all right, so I look for a pre-market long. Missed it at the first, but, you guys know what happened there. But fast forward to the market open. All right, I still have a long bias on it. I know all the bullish factors on it. So now I want to look to get long on dips, but I need to map out my levels first. So what levels do I see? All right, I see 550. It's a natural support line, and it bounced here. So map out 550. So I was like, all right, I'll look around 550 for a dip. But I didn't pull the trigger. I wanted to wait for my pattern. So my pattern is a wash, trap, and squeeze pattern. So after I have all my bullish confirmation, and I confirm a price action and volume, I want to look to see my pattern develop. And so the pattern goes, it needs to go on a spike first, and that could either be a pre-market spike or it could be a spike at open. So in this case, we had a big pre-market spike. So we had this big pre-market spikes, and that's one. So that's the one thing we need for the pattern, a spike. So we got that pre-market spike, and then what we need is a trap. No, excuse me, a wash first. We need a wash. So we got this big wash, we got this pre-market spike, then we got this wash. After the wash, we need a trap. What I mean by trap is that we break down a support. So we broke support, and we found the base at the bottom of support. We don't want to see this bottom support crack. So the bottom support held, which is perfect. And then we want to see higher lows being formed, which we saw here. Higher low, higher low, higher low. And now you could enter here at 550, or you could enter on the $6 break. And there's different ways you could enter. You could enter just at dip, anticipating this will happen. So that's an option. You could, that's why I said you could look to get in 550 or 5, because those are the options anticipating this move. That's always the riskiest way to trade this setup. But there are times where I'll look for the dip. But if you want to be safe, be smart, and wait for confirmation, that's always the safest option to do. Yeah, you have a higher average, which kind of sucks, but the odds are much higher at that point. So the odds were the highest point once we broke $6. And sometimes I'll wait for a breakout, then a pullback to long. But in this case, knowing the float, seeing this really nice trap happen here, I knew that I wanted to get it at the $6 break. So that's why I got it at the $6 break, and this was when the trap was formed, and now we're at the squeeze. So that's pretty much the overall idea behind this pattern. How do you know something has dilution? Go to bamsec.com. You type in the ticker. There's a lot of different ways to search for it, but the most basic would be is you gotta know the file. You just see a self registration here, and boom, it's an effective S3. So you have some dilution here. You have $100 million pros maximum offering. You see here, 100 million confirmed common stock. So it's $100 million ATM here at the market offering on whatever ticker this is. It's that's not really my strong suit. That's probably my weakest part of my trading is fundamentals. But for me, it's not. I don't value fundamentals as much as I do a lot of other things. I know a lot of traders do value the fundamentals. I do. I'll look it over, but for something like this, like a micro float under 1 million float, like I don't really care that much to be honest. I really don't. I factor it into the trading, but I value other things much higher, like price action, volume, chart. But I know some traders are big on fundamentals and they do really well for themselves. And that's the beauty of trading. There's tons of ways to trade. There's tons of ways to trade. You can swing trade. You could trade off fundamentals. For me, I'm more of a technical trader. I go off price action, volume, and chart. That's my strong suit of my trading. And I know people, like I said, I know a guy who trades fundamentals who's great. He does really well for himself, and he just goes solely off the filings. Like he'll dig into this thing and find crazy things, and you'll find some crazy thing and know that, oh, this is gonna do this, gonna do that. They're gonna dump here, blah 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 blah. No idea what he's saying most of the time, but yeah, there's traders who just go off the fundamentals and they do well for themselves. And then there's two sides of every coin. There's traders who just go off the fundamentals and they get screwed. I bet you the fundamentals is probably horrible on SSNT, and you have a fundamental shorter saying, oh, there's warrants at $5. They're gonna unload at $5. They have no cash. They're gonna have an offering, and that trader will get smoked. Thanks, Stock Block. Hope you enjoyed the stream. I'll see you tomorrow, man. Yeah, the stream will be available for replay. Every stream is available for replay. Yep. Just as Stockbot said, you got to know you are buying a little bit higher, so just have a stop loss in mind. So right now it is 10:27. Uh, Probably give the stream another 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes max, and I'll be wrapping it up. Hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. Curry, I appreciate that. So right now, just give me like 2 minutes. I'm just gonna grab a quick drink of water. Be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. See OSN 650s, EDNT back at 220. So that one ended up being a really nice fader there in EDNT. ARCI getting dumped off really hard there too. Back at 640. So that one was tricky short. Trying to pick that top. I'm sure traders got blown out a few times there trying to catch the top there. All right, let's see. How much money do I trade with? I trade with 50K to 100K. So what I'll do is I'll start at 50K. Once I hit like 100 or even 90K, I'll pull out money, put it in the savings, and then I'll reset from 50K. That's usually how I do it. It's always good to pay yourself, along the way when you're trading. Oh, OSN here popping. Let's see if we're gonna push to $7 here. See if we get the $7 break right there. Come on, OSN, let's break 7. Now lock out the rest of my shares. Big bidders, you guys see, look at the bid stack on this thing. This thing was a beast. Go back and watch the tape on this and go watch the Arcadia tape. I save all the tapes for you guys. I do it for myself too. Obviously the stream's there, but it's just good. That's why I put the level 2 up here. I could have more scanners, but level 2 is very good to study and learn from. So all these supernovas that we've seen, go back and watch the live streams and just study the tape and just watch. You could see the tape is so much noticeably different on these big runners, and if you could spot that early on, you can make a killing. I'm able to spot these things early on, just noticing the tape and how just aggressive the bids are. You're seeing big bidders, the volume, just studying all those things will give you a very big edge if you could spot it early. We'll see if we can break 7 here. Come on, OSN. Wow, look at that big wall there at 7. Big wall at 7. ARCI is getting sold off hard. It's red now. Why do I have SSNT? Alright, there we go. OSN. I'll look to sell over 7 on OSN. Fuck it. I sold at 690. In case it dumps here. It's looking a little toppy there. But definitely still run. But just sold there at 690. So I'm all out. All out of OSN. Sorry, the Nightbot's a little feisty sometimes. So yeah, I'm all out of OSN right there on that last trade. I locked in just about $900 on that last 1,000 shares overall on the day. Now I'm up 2K after being down 2K. So another day, I got out of the red, go back to the green. So crazy freaking day. And that just shows you guys, you don't need a lot of money to make money in penny stocks. That last 1,000 shares there, I made just under $900 on it off 1,000 shares. 1,000 shares. I'm sure most of you guys could probably afford that. On a $6 stock. Even 500 shares. Make $1 per share. It's $500. Seeing huge range and huge volatility on all these moves. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for all the support. And you guys did great also today. A lot of you guys killed it. Yeah, zombie hour is coming up. 10:30. You see a lot of funny things happen around this time. So we'll see if we get this this bigger move on OSN. I just wanted to be safe there and lock in at resistance. I saw it was looking a little toppy there, so just wanted to play it safe. And if it runs, it goes. Good for OSN. Hope it runs at $10 today. 750 is that pre-market level. So if we break 7, we're gonna have 750 level right after that. Yeah, Curry. Yeah, the replay will. It usually takes an hour to process, so it should be up by like 11:30 or 12. OSN just have like an offering. Did we just have an offering there on OSN? Huge selling here on OSN. I got out at the right time there. Just got out right before that dump. Literally minutes before that dump. I think we must have had an offering there, or just a huge insider selling. Anyone see offering or anything? Let me see. I'm not seeing it. Must have just been that seller at 7 there. Yeah, I saw that too. It looked very toppy there at 7. If anyone sees like an offering, let me know. But look, just look very toppy there at 7. Very toppy. I guess someone insider, some big hand just unloaded their shares at 7 there. Yeah, I'm not seeing any offering. Guess that seller just crushed it there at 7. All right, I'm back. Sorry, just on my phone for a second. Had a message I had to respond to. All right. So let's see. OSN, yeah. That was a crazy sell-off right there, and it wasn't even an offering. Usually when we see a huge drop like that, start to think it could be an offering, but it wasn't, unless someone has a link. It was just a big seller there at 7. Probably some insider or big hand just unloading their shares. So I'm expecting a gap down after the unhalt, probably below $6. Usually it's never good to have an offer. Have a halt to the downside. Usually it will kill the momentum of the play, and it's definitely not looking too great right now for the long. So we'll see what happens after the unhalt. But like I said, I'm expecting an open lower, probably under 6, and we'll see where it goes from there. It's possible it could recover, but it's not looking good after something like that. Usually that will scare a lot of traders. No, I don't. I mean, like Ricky said, just yeah. Usually these things when they get halted, it's just like a halt to the upside. We saw it get halted here, and then look what happened after. We had a huge spike to 660. So usually it goes. Usually the same thing will happen on the other way around. We'll have a halt to the upside, it'll spike up, and the downside it'll come down. So I would wait. I wouldn't be too quick to jump for a dip buy. I'd wait for more chart to form and see how it looks after the unhalt. You don't want to buy something that's has bad momentum and could end up being a falling knife. So look at this. Yeah, we're open below 6, like I said, 580s. Support's gonna be at 550, so we'll see what happens here. $6. We'll see if it starts to act as resistance. Burn, I didn't really like to speak on other chat rooms or traders, but I'll just say that I'm not the biggest fan. I'll leave it at that. Not the biggest fan of them. But like I said, I don't really like speaking on other chat rooms or traders. I respect all traders and all people of this community. But I'll just say I'm not the biggest fan. I'm sure some of you will know why I'm not the biggest fan. Maybe not all of you, but I'm sure some of you will understand. Look at ARCR, 495. Check out this chart on ARCI. Look at this. Look how manipulated this is. Someone just spiked this all the way up, and just dumped all their shares. It's so manipulated right there. Yep, Jason Bond's in that same category as Warrior Trading. There's very few traders who there's very few chat rooms out there that I actually watch and watch some of their videos and learn a little from them. But you really got to be careful in this community who to trust. Like Ricky just said, a lot of scams out there, a lot of pump and dump rooms, and a lot of them just trying to take your money, and it's just very just be like you said. Just be very careful who you trust in this community. You know, there's a lot of scams out there. Yeah, that's crazy on ARCI. So manipulated. So look at OSN. OSN just kind of floating now. We'll see how it reacts around this 550 line. Every day I start the stream around like 8:40, 8:50, but I won't go live on the mic until 9:10 Eastern time. Happy trader. It's funny. I got out like a minute before it dropped too. That's funny. Not funny for anyone who got caught in it, but yeah, I hope no one did get caught in that. All right, right now it's 10:47. I'll probably give the stream another few minutes. I'll be happy to answer any more questions. So, if you guys have any questions, you guys could ask. Yeah, bike. I'm not sure what you mean by ticks. Not really sure what you mean by ticks. I'm sure you're not talking about the bug, yeah. I'm not really sure what you mean by that. Do you mean the one, like the 1 minute chart or the 15-second chart? Well, usually most brokers will just have it, like E-Trade will just have it here, the 1 minute chart, 2 minute, 3 minute. For penny stocks, I like staying between 1 to 3. When I trade big caps or mid caps, I'll always be in a 3 minute or 5 minute time frame. Oh yeah, that's right though. I know you weren't talking about the bug. I was just joking, but yeah. I mean, that's I hope that answered. I mean, usually it'll be there on your charts time frames. I'm not sure what broker you use. Yeah, I rarely trade lunch. The only times I'll trade lunch if I see a really good squeeze setup forming. I'll only long over lunch. I'll never short during lunch ever. Some of my biggest losses ever has came shorting during lunch hour. Big no no. SSNT. I'll take a look at it. I don't know what the heck is happening there. I don't know if that's a glitch. I've never seen that before. Looks really weird there. I'll look on the other chart. Yeah, SSNT right now looking a little trappy right now for shorts. As we spoke, it's 1050 right now in the market, and you could see it never cracked our EMA lines, and now it's slowly starting to curl and volume's picking up a little bit. So if this breaks 6 and reclaims, we could have a move to the upside. That's a pattern you like to play, you want to look at. You could definitely look at a $6 break or a $6 reclaim for some more upside. We could definitely watch it for the last few minutes before I hop off. We still have a ways to go. 5:30. I would wait till we get over 6 for a push on up. But just remember, we don't really know what the deal is with this SSNT. Is a little pumpy. Personally, I won't be trading it. Just a little out of my style. If I were to trade this, it would be very small size, like even 1K shares max. Just a little pumpy. Look at the spreads on it. The tape's a little slow. Pretty illiquid. So it is a little bit of a more on the riskier side, SSNT, rather than playing like something like OSN earlier. That was much more of a safer trade. This is more of a risky trade. What do you think of playing stocks long at 52-week lows? Personally, I've never used that strategy before. Uh, I couldn't really answer that. I never tested that strategy. I don't know of anyone who uses that strategy. But hey, man, if you want to test it out, hop on paper, take some paper trades, trying that strategy, and see if it works. More times than not. But I mean, like the whole psychology behind it is, it could go both ways. You could look at it as, oh, it's bad momentum. You're gonna have a lot of longs looking to get out at the lows, uh, or you could look at the other way is that, all right, maybe shorts look to cover here, longs will look at this as a buying opportunity. So I would say look at the short float on it. Maybe this is just me. It's like throwing things out there. Maybe look for stocks at 52-week lows with high short floats. Maybe look for stocks that have more than 50% short float, and then maybe that'll lead to some shorts covering at the lows. So I'm just throwing it out there. I have no idea. Never tested that strategy, but that's just something I just thought of. Maybe look for something like that. All right, I'll give it one more minute. One more minute, and I'll wrap it up. Yeah, 9:10 Eastern time every day. So let's see. OSN. Correct support OSN. Yeah, so stocks you want to watch, into lunch hour, into power hour. OSN, keep this one on watch. At support right now, we know below 550 support, we have 5-hour support. SSNT, kind of the pump of the morning, so be cautious on this one. It could definitely get explosive. This thing could definitely run and move, but just be very cautious on it, as it has big spreads, and the volume's kind of on the lower side on it. Let's watch it right now. Come up to 6. See how it looks around 6. All right, so. Alright, yeah, so back at 540. So this one's going to have big spread, so maybe one to watch just to study it, see what it does, but not one I recommend playing with big size or much size at all, if playing it. Other than that, DGLY, 130s. Yeah. So just over lunch, I would say SSNT and OSN, probably your top two watches you guys want to be focusing on. Heading into Power Hour. I appreciate that. Make sure you guys are over in Discord. After the stream ends, we're all chatting up in Discord and talking there. If I ever get into any more trades, I'll mention in Discord. So make sure you guys are all in the Discord chat. But with that being said, I'm probably gonna end the live stream now. It's almost 11 o'clock. Usually like to go to 11 a.m. You guys can't hear me? Mudo, it might just be your mic. I think people can hear me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure people can hear me. Okay, you can hear. All right. Yeah, just making sure. Just want to make sure. All right, cool. So Mudo, it might just be on your end. All right, cool. So yeah, that being said, I'm gonna wrap up the live stream now. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. You know, we do this every day, so make sure you guys tune in tomorrow. And and yeah, had some nice trades on our hands today. It turned another red day. It was down $2,000. Turned that 2,000 into a $2,000 green day, just off one trade. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all on Discord. So that's gonna be it for me. Peace.